this provision of the constitution. They only violated rights of the citizens of India, but they also led the opposition parties into the trials, into the detention. During the emergency, fundamental rights of a citizen are violated, press freedom were restricted, opposition leaders were arrested, and democratic institutions faced a severe pressure. Leaders like Jay Prakash Narayan, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and Lal Krishna Advani were imprisoned. The media were censored, and the voice of dissent was suppressed. But the history teaches us that India's democracy is resilient in the 1977 when the elections was held. The people chose the voice, and the people defected the government led by the Indira Gandhi. And it teaches us that the power remains in the hands of the people. And I will tell you the impacts of the emergency on the democracy. First, there were the erosion of the civil liberties of the people, of the citizens of the India were restricted, and the political awakening led to a stranger demand for the accountability and the reform. Judicial lessons. I want to tell you that the judicial activism under Article 13 of the Indian Constitution states that if there are any provision in the Constitution, in the law, that law should be violated in the that law should, if they violate a provision of the Constitution, that law should be violated. When this judicial activism was misused by the Indira Gandhi led government, electoral consequences. In 1977, the public rejected the ruling party, demonstrating the resilience of democratic process. First and the last, I want to give you the lessons of the emergency. What we learned from this is all about it.
Thank you, Amit. Our next participant is Nasir Shahbaz Loan, serial number 62.
In the words of Abraham Lincoln, I quote, "The ballot is stronger than the bullet," I unquote. Honorable dignitaries, my dear fellow countrymen, good afternoon to one and all present here. I will simply begin with an example that was mentioned earlier by a student because it's more relatable to us. Imagine you wake up early in the morning tomorrow and you find that the newspapers are blank, the social media silent, and the opposition arrested. And you are asked to be silent, not to criticize, and even not to question. Now, my question to all of you is that will you still call this democracy? This was India on 25th June 1975, when emergency was declared on the grounds of what was termed as internal disturbances. It was a period of constitutional crisis because the fundamental rights were suspended. As mentioned earlier, the opposition leaders were arrested. Unfortunately, the doors of the courts, the very guardian of the justice, are partially closed. 50 years now, 50 years later, what are the lessons that we had from the emergency? The number one, that democracy is not just about elections, it's more than that. A country may have elections, but not the freedom of speech, not dissent, not the accountability. This means that the democracy has lost its essence. The number two, opposition is not the enemy. And the criticism is not anti-national. It's the soul of democracy. The third, the rights are not the favors. They are not the gifts from the government. They are the protections for the citizens that prevent the citizens from the whims and fancies of the government. The fourth, that the power of the government must be accountable, because as seen in the emergency period, that unaccountable government will be more authoritarianism. It will be based on the whims and fancies. The most important and the last is that in 1977, we the people answered to the emergency, not by the violence, but by the vote. People replied with the vote. It was the time that proved to be something historic, that India's sovereignty lies truly within the people of the India. Now the message is simple, that India is not governed by power, it's governed by we the people. So it's our responsibility to be vigilant, to be fearless. Thank you.
Next participant, serial number 33, Painda Payaz.
फितरत बदल सकीना एहतियात की फितरत बदल सकीना कभी एहतियात की चिरागी शब ने मांगी हिफाजत मुराद की Honorable members, my fellow delegates of the parliament, I Painda stand before you to speak on the topic 50 years of emergency, lessons for the Indian democracy. The knock at midnight. It's 2 a.m., 25th of June, 1975. Across the sleeping streets of Delhi, the hums of printing press suddenly died. The electricity was cut. By the time the sun rose, the mother of democracy had been put on anesthesia. The newspapers were blank and the microphones were dead. And for the next 21 months, the only voice that was allowed to speak was the voice of state. And today, after 50 years, we do not tell the story to remember that dark night, but we remember it to ensure that the dawn of our Viskit Bharat is never interrupted again. Ladies and gentlemen, the 50 years of emergency taught us three non-negotiable lessons. First lesson, the supremacy of our constitution over the indivisible will. This proved that no leader, no matter how powerful and how popular, is above the law. Second lesson, the vitality of the fourth estate. When the media was told to bend, many choose to crawl. This reminds us that the free press is the oxygen to our democracy. Third lesson, the power of the common man. In 1977, the most illiterate and the poorest citizens used the humble ballot paper to reclaim their dignity. This is the Indian miracle, my fellow citizens, isn't it? Critics often ask that, is democracy a hurdle to a fast-paced development? The emergency gave us the answer. No, efficiency at the cost of liberty is just a hollow victory. As I draw to a close, let's take pledge that in our pursuit of Viskit Bharat, we will keep the flame of our liberty, equality, and fraternity burning brighter than ever. Thank you so much.
Next is Ronak Shafi, serial number 67. I request judges to manually enter the name of the student if already not entered. Ronak Shafi, serial number 67.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning everyone. Respected Principal Sir, honorable teachers and my dear friends. My name is Ronak and I feel proud to represent Government Degree College Patan today. It's truly an honor for me to stand here and speak on the topic 50 years of emergency, the lessons for Indian democracy. 50 years ago, on the night of June 25th, 1975, India went to sleep in a democracy and woke in something else entirely. Radio broadcasters announced that the president had proclaimed a state of emergency. Press censorship was imposed. Opposition leaders were arrested before dawn. And for 21 months, the world's largest democracy held its breath. Today, half a century later, we gather here not merely to remember, but to reckon. The emergency of 1975 was not born in a vacuum. It was born in the collision of political pressure, judicial defense, and personal ambition. When the Allahabad High Court found Prime Minister Indira Gandhi guilty to electoral malpractice, rather than resign, she chose to silence the constitution itself. Article 352 became a weapon. Fundamental rights were suspended. Habeas corpus, the ancient shield of the individual against the state, was stripped away. The Supreme Court, in what many call its darkest hour, upheld the suspension of private personal liberty. This is the first lesson democracy never forget. Institutions are only as strong as the people who protect them. When courts bend, when ministers look away, when parliaments rubber stamp, democracy does not fall from the outside. It collapses from within. The emergency also taught us something about the fragility of a free press. Newspapers arrived with blank columns the morning after censorship was imposed. Editors leaving white spaces rather than print government propaganda. That blank space was itself an act of courage. Today, media may not be directly controlled by the government, but can be captured by economic pressure, by ownership consolidation, by algorithmic silence. Those blank columns remind us how important press freedom is. Freedom of information is not a luxury, it's the oxygen of democracy. Thank you for listening.
Our next candidate, serial number 68, Said Nafiz Jelani. I'll again request judges to enter the name of the participant manually because it's not mentioned in the list. Serial number 68, Said Nafiz Jelani. Is there any other candidate who is left out? Serial number 63, Nazar.
Respected Chairperson, honorable judges, and my dear friends, with Islamic greeting, Assalamu alaikum. Let me introduce myself. I am Sayyid Nafiz Gilani and I am the student of Government Degree College Uri. Today I stand before you to speak on a dark yet defining chapter of our nation, the Indian emergency of 1975. On 25th of June 1975, under the leadership of Indira Gandhi, India witnessed a movement that shocked the foundations of the world's largest democracy. Fundamental rights were suspended, press was concerned, opposition leaders were jailed, democracy, जो आवाम की आवाज होती है, उसको खामोश कर दिया गया. Was it legal? Yes. Was it constitutional? Perhaps. But was it democratic? Absolutely not. Article 352 was invoked Thousands, including leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan, were arrested. Media houses were forced into silence. Newspapers published blank editorials क्योंकि सच लिखना एक जुर्म बन चुका था. Ladies and gentlemen, इमरजेंसी हमें एक सबक देती है कि डेमोक्रेसी सिर्फ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से नहीं चलती, बल्कि डेमोक्रेटिक स्पिरिट से चलती है. पावर करप्ट्स एंड एब्सोल्यूट पावर करप्ट्स एब्सोल्यूटली. जब एक लीडर अपने आप को नेशन से ऊपर समझने लगे, तब डेमोक्रेसी कमजोर हो जाती है. लेकिन हिंदुस्तान की खूबसूरती यह है कि हमने सिर्फ इमरजेंसी को झेला ही नहीं, बल्कि उसको हराया भी. In 1977, people voted. अवाम ने अपनी ताकत दिखाई. The ballot defeated authoritarianism. The same citizens who were silenced spoke loudly through elections, and that was the real victory of Indian democracy, ladies and gentlemen. Democracy is not a gift; it is a responsibility. अगर हम चुप रहेंगे, तो हिस्ट्री खुद को रिपीट करेगी. आज 50 साल बाद सवाल ये नहीं है कि इमरजेंसी क्यों हुई, सवाल ये है कि हमने उससे कुछ सीखा. Are we protecting dissent? Are we safeguarding free speech? Are we respecting constitutional morality? आज यहाँ इस यूथ पार्लियामेंट का मतलब सिर्फ डिबेट नहीं, बल्कि अवेयरनेस है. दोस्तों, we are the youth of this nation and we are also the future lawmakers of this nation. अगर हम ही हिस्ट्री को भूल जाएंगे, तो कल को फिर कोई इमरजेंसी आ सकती है. और मैं ये बात भी स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं कि पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स will not decide the future of this nation. You 1.5 billion Indians will decide the future of this nation, ladies and gentlemen. और मैं अल्लामा इकबाल का एक शेर भी अर्ज करना चाहता हूं कि इस राज को एक मर्दे फिरंगी ने किया फाश, हर चंद के इसे खोला नहीं करते. इस राज को एक मर्दे फिरंगी ने किया फाश, हर चंद के दाना इसे खोला नहीं करते. जमहूरियत एक तर्ज हुकूमत है कि जिसमें बंदों को गिना करते हैं, तोला नहीं करते. Now let us promise, never again will democracy be caged, never again will voices be crushed, never again will fear rule our freedom. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.
I think that was. Now I invite our last candidate for the day, Nazar from serial number 63.
Honorable Chairperson and my fellow future makers, I am Nazakatul Imtiaz, student of GDC Women's Board. Today I stand before you to speak about the 50 years of emergency. Let's be real. 1975 feels like ancient history to most of us. We live in an age of 5G, Instagram, and instant opinions. But 50 years ago, the vibe in India shifted from freedom to fear overnight. The emergency wasn't just a political move, it was a total system crash. Today, I am not here to give a lecture, a history lecture. I am here to tell you why we, the Gen Z and the millennials, are the main characters who need to ensure that script of 1975 never gets executed. As the great poet Rahat Indori famously said, सभी का खून है शामिल यहाँ की मिट्टी में, किसी के बाप का हिंदुस्तान थोड़ी है. Honorable delegates, the emergency taught us that a democracy is only as strong as its institutions. In 1975, we saw what happened when the checks and balance failed. Judiciary remained silent and the press was muffled. Emergency taught us we must never prioritize the charisma of a leader over the sanctity of an institution. Or our loyalty lies within the constitution, not any political office. The emergency period validated the basic structure doctrine. It taught us that while parliament is supreme in its sphere, but it is not absolute. It cannot vote away our fundamental identity. As future lawmakers, we must remember that the power to amend the Constitution is not to destroy. It was the 44th Amendment Act which corrected the excesses of the emergency and tells us that the law is to a law must serve the people but not the rulers. The myth of efficiency versus liberty. During those 21 months, the slogan was discipline over democracy. Trains ran on time, offices were punctual, but at a cost of human dignity and forced sterilization. To the youth, I say this: never trade your freedom for the illusion of order. A disciplined nation without a voice is not democracy. It's a prison. It's a prison development without dissent in hollow. Honorable speakers, we are the software update India has been waiting for. We are the tech savvy. We are loud. We are connected. Let's use that energy to make our constitution isn't just a PDF on our phones, but a fire in our hearts. The emergency was 21 months dark mode, but we are the generation of light. Let's keep the dialogue open, questions coming, and the democracy thriving. Thank you so much.
Correction. Now we have the last candidate, serial number 69, Sirat Ashraf. Judges are requested to manually enter the name of the student. Sirat Ashraf, serial number 69.
Honorable dignitaries, and everyone present here. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. So we all know that today we gather here to speak about the most important chapter in the Indian history, the emergency. The emergency and the lessons it referred to Indian democracy after 50 years. So ladies and gentlemen, on 25th June 1975, the Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, declared emergency in the country till 21st March 1977. So during the emergency, the fundamental rights were suspended, the press censorship was imposed, and political opponents were arrested. So now, 50 years later, this period teaches us several important lessons. The first and the most important lessons that we learn from this period is the supremacy of the constitution. The second important lesson is the importance of a free press. The censorship during the emergency showed that a free and independent media is essential for truth and accountability in a democratic society. The third point is the power of the people. In 1977 general elections, the people of India voted decisively and demonstrated that the ultimate power of democracy lies with the citizens. So the fourth point is the need for the strong institutions. The institutions like parliament, judiciary, and the election commission must remain independent and strong to prevent misuse of power. So, ladies and gentlemen, we see the emergency reminds us that democracy is not just a system of government, but it's a responsibility. It must be protected, strengthened, and valued by every citizen. So, by learning from history, we can ensure that a stronger and more resilient, we can ensure a stronger and more resilient democracy for the future. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you so much.
मुझे एक दो मिनट दे दो yes is that a message also This is a
So before we announce the results and the top 10 candidates that will be representing Baramulla district in the state level, it will take 5 or 10 minutes. Till then, I request or I invite our worthy jury member, Nisar Ahmad Rafi sir, to come on stage and interact with the audience. So please.
نحمد ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان صدق الله مولانا العظيم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خير الناس من ينفع الناس Sahibi Sadr, in charge principal sahab, jury members, Professor Saiban, and the dignified, respected, charming, smart, wise students. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's an intractable imbroglio for me because I am here present as a jury member in the capacity of a social and political worker. However, I have been a teacher. That's why I'm just in a intractable imbroglio, as I said to you. And other thing is that it's a reminiscence of integrity for me as well, because I have been a student of this college as well. But I feel proud to be here in my own college and speaking on the most burning issue and the most essential issue, that is politics. Emergency, everybody knows about it. But the important aspect to understand about emergency is how can we get rid of all these issues like emergency? And how can we avoid such circumstances? The answer is only the smart voters. My dear students, I'm telling you honestly, not because I'm in politics, but because I know only you can shape the world. Only you can shape the society. Only you can shape the future of the society. So it depends upon the voter. If the voter is smartly using his right or her right to franchise, he will definitely get a leader who will shape the country, the nation in such a manner while we will feel proud of our vote and proud of our leader as well. So it depends upon you. If you want to avert situations like emergency, if you want to be the participants in the democracy, if you want to thrive the democracy, then it is definitely your turn. It's now your turn. You have to play your innings. Most probably the people who are here are very young and dynamic. As Tariq Sab earlier in his speech said, that India is a democracy and it comprises of 65% of the youth. So youth can shape the world. Today is simply I'm telling you, had there been the social media bloom during 1975, what would have been the circumstances? I think it would have been more precarious. I think it would have been more dangerous and terrible for the people to understand, because the emergency would have been not impacted only in Delhi. It would have been in every nook and corner of the country. So today's time is your time. It's the time of social media. It's the time of AI. But only you can shape the world. That's why my only point is for you to stand up and speak for democracy. But speaking for democracy essentially needs you to speak for yourself first. So you have to understand what democracy is. You have to understand what I am doing, what I mean here, why I'm standing here, what I'm seconding. So it is important for me as well to make you understand that what we are assembling for here in today's time. So my dear students, I think it is high time for all you to understand. And your teachers are your guides. And your teachers can be your leaders tomorrow. And you, I find so many of the students so dynamic, so powerful, so energetic that it reminded me of my youthfulness when I was speaking with full charm, with full energy, and this energy should be channelized properly so that we can, inshallah, Rahman, dream a better future. And my advice to all of you is believe in democracy, trust in democracy. Only then democracy can thrive. And you are safe and secure when democracy is guided by people, when democracy is led by people who are educated, who are honest, who are dedicated. And we cannot ignore the role of those who even brought about this emergency. So I don't want to make it controversial, but I find all the students so capable. It was charming. It was quite beautiful moment for me to be here as a jury member. I don't know had I done justice to my profession today or not, but one thing is clear. I was happy. I thought, I was thinking in this year that now our future is inshallah safe because our youth, they are awakening, they are coming to inshallah this day and they will make us feel proud. With these words, I take leave. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed sir, for interacting with the youth. Now I request our staff secretary and vice principal, Professor Tariq Ahmed Chalko sir, to come on stage and again interact with the youth and provide his insightful thoughts. Sir, please.
Again, a very good afternoon. I'm just filling some time, waiting for Romataji to come. And that way you understand, when you're just killing time, you're never serious. I want to make an observation, and please don't mind my words for a while. Whatever we actually bear today as humans, that is because of the human intellect. And human intellect, in whatever form, whether in an enemy or in a friend, has always been appreciated and praised. I come from an era that we would start speaking in English language from class 6th onwards. We were taught English language in class 6th onwards. So if a class 6 or class 7 student would speak in English, which would be probably either due to his schooling in a missionary school or some special attention given to him by his parents, he was definitely the hero of the town. He was probably a debater of the apex level and would earn so big laurels, whether in the school, in the college, in the outside society, and sometimes in the seminaries. Seminaries are those places which were originally the schools in this region. But we have come of time now. You talk to a child of 5 or 6 years who is still in class 1 or class 2, his vocabulary is more stronger than a postgraduate in that subject. Maybe that he is exposed to the media other than his parents. He is exposed to the listening of the language, which would earlier be only through radio. Today, he can listen to a mobile phone, he can listen to his parents' mobile phone, he can listen to television, he can listen to movies, he can listen to audiobooks, whatever way it comes. It gives me a slight distaste when a graduate or a going to be graduate comes here and starts reading from a paper, losing the eye contact with the audience. Our esteemed guest spoke here. If you put a small postcard size thing in your hand and you have some 1 or 2 points and look at it only for 5 to 6% of your time, that is probably tolerable. But when somebody comes with a page and starts reading it out, the first disdain arises. Why do we hate each other? कि ये तो चैट जीपीटी कर सकता है, ये तो तुमने चैट जीपीटी से लाया. Because there is a downward hatred in us about the machines. We now consider that machines are our competitors. whatever is done by the machine is not done by the human intellect, you lose the respect. Because you were earlier respected for that human intellect in your brain, although it was God given, but you were exhibiting it, you are using it, you are sharply projecting it, you are respected. So, this is a word of advice for all those esteemed speakers. And I am very thankful to them that they made it to this college on a Ramadan day and stayed here with us. But please, we want to see you not only the platforms of Degree College Baramulla, we want to see you speaking in front of UNO. Believe me, we trust you can. But promote intellect. Now I'll give you another episode how this intellect sometimes comes. I was invited by his name is Dr. Kadir. There's a Shaheen group working in Karnataka. So he invited me in 2000, I believe 14. I went there, and he took me to a place where I saw some children, and he took me to some compartments of that place. Okay, he asked the class, how many of you were in the ICU? I was perplexed. He nafar kacha ICU was needed. You can spara or be uta aggressively para. It was because nice and big IVS month. Yeah, plus jora lag. तभी तो ICU से. He was calling children from seminaries. This is something very, it's kind of good model. Those who had done HIFS. अब जब 8, 9, 10 साल का बच्चा हिफज करता है, उसके दिमाग में आप देखो कि क्या कोरिलेशन बनती है, what a rhythm, what a sequence, और how much volume of the 30 पारे याद करना एक बहुत बड़ी बात है. अब वो उनको वहां से निकाल के ले आते थे और they would put them through 3 months of teaching and learning, या जिस मरवजी तालीम अनाज, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, साइंस, सोशल साइंस. अब ये बच्चे 4 महीने में एनओएस से मैट्रिक पास कर लेते थे. This ICU which he was telling you, आप में से ICU में कितने थे? This ICU I saw, एक टेबल है बीच में, 4 बच्चे बैठे हैं, एक टीचर बैठा है, 3 बच्चे एक टीचर, फिर उधर 3 बच्चे एक टीचर, 3 बच्चे एक टीचर. मैंने कहा ये क्या हो रहा है यहाँ? कहा ये 3 महीने में सारा का सारा 10th का सिलेबस और 9th का सिलेबस याद कर लेते हैं, सीख जाते हैं. Now this became a point of attention to me, that how a child at this tender age is able to grab so much of knowledge in this short time. Then what are these schools doing? Who are charging in lakhs, who are big tax, what are they doing? अब ये मुझे alert करता रहा. Next year I read a news that Dr. Kadir produces 200 NEET qualifiers from Karnataka state. You Google it today, Shaheen Group, 200. अब मेरा और भी इसमें तवज्जो बढ़ गया कि 200 बच्चे कहां से आ गए. हम तो इधर सेलिब्रेट करते हैं, अगर पूरे गांव में, पूरे कस्बे में 2 बच्चे क्वालिफाई करें, हम उनको कहां से कहां चढ़ा देते हैं. Again it comes back, probably that training of brain in that seminary, remembering words maybe without almost understanding them, that gave them a strength of the brain, that made them to do miracles. I tell you कि 2-3 महीने में 10th पास कर लिया, फिर दूसरे साल, तीसरे साल मैं नीट क्वालिफाई कर लिया, जेई क्वालिफाई कर लिया. There is a word of advice now. जो हम ये 4 मिनट की स्पीच याद करके अगर आ जाएं, ये 30 पारों से बहुत कम है. और याद करके उसको आके फिर यहां पर एक आई कांटेक्ट बनाए ऑडियंस के साथ. You have enough time to make other body movements rather than just looking at the page. मैं learn कुछ bisa सही learn पर कितना भाई इंसान learn पे रहा. So अगर learn रहा तो क्या जाती है ना, फिर वो बेचारा हो जाता है goes very slow. So please make it a point that you work on this public speaking and work it on the model I said. Now, where this model is going to help you? I have seen that the best public speakers are the best successors of life. क्योंकि इनके दिमाग को वो जो मिल गए ना, वो रिदमिक और वो थोड़ा सा एक like today doctors prescribe, we have our psychology teachers here, Alzheimer's का एक इलाज है, इसको पढ़ने दो,
इसको सवाल पूछो, इसको याद कराओ, इसको उधर घुमाओ. It sharpens the brain. There are trillions of synapses in the brain. They get agitated, they die. They get agitated, they die. They get agitated, they die. If you use this sequence जो मैंने आपको बताया, not only that you will be good speakers, but you will have some more benefits in the other classroom. And I have the last anecdote, क्योंकि अब ये anecdote मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूँ. I was in a place, वहां पर हमें 10 मीटर से जंप करना पड़ता था. 10 मीटर से जंप करने के लिए इट लुक्स वेरी क्लमजी. जब आप टॉप पर जाते हो, आपको नीचे स्विमिंग पूल थोड़ा माचिस सा दिखाई देता है, माचिस के डिब्बे जैसा, और आपको डर लगता है मैं पता नहीं इस माचिस में गिरूंगा कि कहीं उधर इधर न जाओ. मेरे सामने एक लड़का होता था, नेम नागा सुब्रमण्यम. ही वुड टेल मी, वी वर सीक्वेंशियली इन द, जैसे रोल नंबर्स होते हैं. आई वाज 407, ही वाज 405. ऑड्स एंड इवन्स वर सेपरेट. वो मुझे कहता था मुझे धीरे से लात एक मारना, पीछे से धक्का देना, ताकि मैं गिर जाऊं. आगे क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा दैट्स एनफ, पर धक्का मुझे जरूर देना. एक दो बार मैंने किया, एंड ही वुड दैट इज थ्रू अ पार्टी फॉर मी. देयर वाज वन स्मॉल कैफेटेरिया, तो मैं उससे धक्का मारने के, लात मारने के लिए पार्टी लेता था. नाउ स्लोली आई स्टार्टेड फीलिंग ये मेरे लिए भी एक कंपैरिजन, अगर मैं पकड़ा गया, बिकॉज़ दैट वाज वेरी स्ट्रिक्टली डिसिप्लिनरी प्लेस, अगर मैं पकड़ा गया तो धक्का मारते हुए आई विल बी इन ट्रबल. पता नहीं क्या हो. मैंने एक बार उसको कहा आज मैं तुझे धक्का नहीं मारूंगा. एंड ट्रस्ट मी दैट डे ही जंप. नाउ व्हाट आई वांट टू टेल यू कि जो आपको ये लगता है कि जब तक मैं पेज सामने ना रखूं, ये पेज में धक्का ना मारे, पीछे लात ना मारे, मैं पढ़ नहीं पाऊंगा, ये आपकी गलत फहमी है. यू ट्राई विदाउट, यू विल बी स्पीकिंग बेटर. मे बी यू विल स्लाइटली हेजिटेट, बट अल्टीमेटली you will have all the independence and it will look intellectual. By getting a page here, it just looks mechanical. And I have told judges to deduct marks for that. I am sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we are ready for the results. Actually, we are double checking it, in fact, triple checking it. Given what happened last year, I think some of the students are here. Last year, we kind of announced the wrong candidate for the third. So this time, we don't want to make that mistake again. So I request sir, I request Tariq sir and other faculty members and jury members to come on stage for the purpose of felicitation. Sir, please. Tariq sir, on stage for felicitation.
वो उधर है मैं ये कहाँ जाएगा
Every faculty member. If अगर वहाँ जगह नहीं है तो they can take turns. आलिया मैम, इब्राहिम सब भी आएंगे. आलिया मैम, सिद्दीक सर, प्लीज. सर
लगा ये वो
after इमा करो turn wise I don't know कुछ लोग बैठ फिर next time Good. तारीख इब्राहिम सर कुछ काम आगे वो आ रहे हैं. Sir, should we start? Okay. So before felicitating the participants of today's event, we would like to felicitate a student that was present here last year. She went on for the state rounds and then represented GDC Baramulla or Baramulla district in the Parliament of India. We had 3 to 4 students. One of them was Rohan, and she was already felicitated by the district administration in GDC Baramulla. So today we thought this is the perfect platform to felicitate another young leader, that is Said Palak, who represented Baramulla at the Parliament of India. Palak, can you come on stage?
In this very hall, I announced your name. There were 70 principals of all the colleges. Which we-
Can if Palak wants to say something, two or three lines till I receive the certificates from the.
Thank you for this incredible honor. While my journey took me all the way to the parliament, I still remember that the first step of that walk happened right here in this hall. So I owe a great deal to GDC Baramulla for organizing that event. And also a special thanks to Professor Ishfaq sir for his constant support and dedication in mentoring us throughout this whole journey. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Palak. Now I will announce the first. I will declare the participants who are not in top 10 will receive the certificates, and then it will follow by the top 10 students. So first of all, I will like to call Atiful Riaz. Please come on stage for the receipt of certificate. Next is Danish Bhatt. No, we could last this. Okay. अच्छा तो टॉप 10 वर्ड किन क्या है
टॉप 10 को ये सही
certificates. हाँ certificate. Next is Amir Pare. Please come on stage. These are not position holders. These are participation certificates. These are participation certificates. Next is Mukhtiar Ahmad. सबको देंगे देखो ना चलो मैं इजी करता हूँ ओके ओके रौनक शफी ओके वेट रौनक शफी is here Sadia Fayaz Amir Hassan Nasir Shahbaz Loan Nasir Sirat Ashraf Amreen Kaur प्लीज थोड़ा क्लैप भी कीजिए participation is a big thing to come on stage and speak something Danish Yaqub Bhatt Bushra Tariq Fokia Parvez Nazakat Gul Imtiaz Adfar Ali. Adfar Ali. Mukhtiar Ahmad. Anusha Mariam. Anusha Mariam. Kamran Nazir War. Now students that are going to represent Baramulla in the state round. Te- 10th position goes to Hashmat Hamid. Ninth position goes to Nishat Mushtaq. तालियां नहीं रुकनी चाहिए. 8th position goes to Danish Pare. 7th position goes to Said Falak. 6th position goes to Said Nafis. Said Nafis. 5th position goes to Sadia Javed. Sadia. Fourth position goes to Painda Fayaz. Now the top three. Third position goes to Ikra Javed. Second position goes to Saeed Aruj. And the first position goes to Rauhan Buro of GDC Baramulla. I request everybody to now sit for the formal vote of thanks. Now, the top 10 students will be nominated or forwarded to the for the state rounds. So they should start preparing. फिर बाद में एक्सक्यूज नहीं बोलना कि हमें जाने नहीं देंगे. अगर किसी को नहीं जाने देंगे अभी बोल दो, हम किसी और बच्चे को भेज देंगे. ठीक है? I hope everybody has taken his or her refreshments with them. अगर किसी को बचती है तो अभी भी वो ले सकते हैं. Now, respected principal sir and absentia, worthy vice principal, jury members, esteemed guests, dear participants, NSS team, and all present here, a very pleasant good afternoon to everybody. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our respected principal sir, whose visionary leadership, constant encouragement, and unwavering support made this event possible. Sir, your commitment towards empowering youth and nurturing democratic values inspires us all. I also extend heartfelt thanks to our esteemed Vice Principal for the continuous guidance and administrative support extended throughout the preparation and execution of this program. Our sincere appreciation goes to our distinguished jury members who took out their valuable time to evaluate the participants with fairness, patience, and insight. Your constructive observations will surely guide our young parliamentarians towards excellence. A special word of appreciation to Dr. Tahir Ramzan for efficiently managing the logistics of this event. I would also like to sincerely thank Dr. Jamshed sir for the smooth processing and compilation of scores. A special word of appreciation for all the participants. You are the true spirit of today's youth parliament. I would like to extend heartfelt thanks to our dedicated NSS program officers for coordinating and ensuring smooth organization of this event. My sincere gratitude to all NSS volunteers whose tireless efforts behind the scenes from registration to state management ensured everything went seamlessly. I also acknowledge the valuable support of our local fund employees whose logistical and technical assistance played a crucial role in successful execution of this program. Special thanks to our rapporteur, Dr. Mohammed Ishfaq Mir sir, for meticulously documenting the proceedings of the Youth Parliament, preserving the ideas and discussions presented today. Last, not the least, I extend gratitude to everyone who contributed directly or indirectly to make this event a grand success. That includes the Department of Media and their students, faculty members, organizing committee, technical team, and others involved. As we conclude, let us carry forward the spirit of dialogue, democracy, and responsibility that defines the Viskit Bharat. Thank you, everyone. These are Department of Media, sir.
Or who was the other photographer?
One student, Adfar Jan, didn't receive the certificate. Is she here? Adfar Jan. Adfar Jan, please.
कैमरा वाला इधर आ गया आ जाए अब आप एक कर क्या सर्टिफिकेट शबीर साहब तो दूर से पे करते हैं ना पे आ जाओ जोर से आज बड़ी तालियां Always, always. Once Shivir. उधर ताया सब उसको.
Thank you, everybody. See you soon. Allah Hafiz.
सतु